Let's go! Alright, everybody. We got some good changes here. And why am I excited? If you've already seen the notes, you should already know. But we're going to get to it. Today, we got some more class tuning coming for you next Tuesday here. Super, super excited. We got some good ones in here. Very nice. Some interesting ones that I'm a little concerned with, but nonetheless, we love to see changes regardless of what they are, just to kind of give us a little bit more fresh taste on the game. Blood Decay, getting buffed. We don't care. Havoc Demon Hunter. Don't know what Blizzard was thinking here, because this seems a little bit craziness, because I was like, dude, they're going to counter this in PvP section, right? Nope. Flat 15% buff on numerous abilities, including their auto attack, Chaos Strike, which is a main source of damage. I don't know how big of a contributor these three are, but that seems pretty ridiculous buff. So look out for the Demon Hunters. My one positive I'll say out of this is that I'm kind of sick of double caster. So Demon Hunters are inherently a anti-caster melee because of their passive magic damage reduction. So maybe they'll help out with curbing some of these double caster teams, man. Feral Druid getting buffed 3%. Cool with that. BM Hunter, these are both all changes not applying to PvP. We don't care. Wind Waker getting 3% buffed. Not the change that they need, but you know, it is what it is. They'll take it, I'm sure. Windwalker's kind of just in a weird spot right now. Shadow Priest, interesting changes here. They've been overperforming in AoE environments, so we're bringing down their AoE source, but they're buffing their direct damage. So basically, they're nerfing Psychic Link by 5%, but they're buffing a lot of these abilities that are coming out of an Envoid Spike from Yogg. I don't know how big of an impact this is, but these are some pretty nice flat damage buffs. I don't know if it offsets completely, but it looks like, I think when I asked Shadow Priest, he said it's a slight nerf net. So we'll see. Holy Priest. Holy Fire damage buff by 10%, Smite by 15%, Chastise by 35%, Death by 25%. Don't forget that come 10-1-5, Holy Priest are also getting a flat 10% damage buff on top of all this. So this is a lot of damage, guys. Holy Fire is going to be critting close to 100k with all this stuff if you're running the talents for it. And Chastise with the Foresight, you could probably make that hit probably 100k as well, honestly. So that's pretty insane to see. Really, Holy Priest really kind of slacking on terms of the damage, but I mean, they really weren't. What am I saying? They really weren't. Just because all their damage is just in these little windows. So you might see some really good play with this in like Rogue Mage, man, if that ends up coming back, because Holy Priest seems to be rising in popularity as of recent. Restoration changing their Foresight, nerfing and buffing Tidewaters. I don't know if this is relevant. I know their Foresight's kind of like AoE healing, but you got some changes there. Prot damage. Okay, some Prot Warrior stuff. We don't care. Really important one here. Gladiator Distinction primary stat bonus reduced by 5% for all damage dealers and tank stations. What this means is that all DPS are getting slightly weaker. Okay, and healers are not getting any changed. So it's nice from the healer POV. We like that. We like the game slowing down just a little bit. Give us more time to do the damn and do the things that are fun. And not sit there spam healing and dampening and getting frustrated. Balance Druid, their casting Cyclone is still too fast, so reducing it even more. And Precog's haste reduction coming into the next patch. Solar Beam's duration now lasting 8 seconds with an oversight. It should have been reduced in the crowd control pass. Okay, so they're basically nerfing the fast clone by an additional 5%. They're really just going to nerf this down until it's irrelevant, right? Basically what's going to happen. They should just get rid of the freaking talent at that point. Solar Beam getting nerfed, so the Root was nerfed and the Solar Beam was not, so it's not that big of a deal. You're not really going to feel this, because people usually just Root Beam, and then by the time the Root's done, they just walk out of the beam. But now the beam is going to last less time as well. Okay, Resto Druid. Reactive Resin snare duration has increased to 8 seconds, was 5, so this is a buff to Reactive Resin. I really don't think Resin is a good design. It's good against mages, and that's about it. Otherwise, people just purge, then they dispel or fade. And then shamans just run greater purge, so this is basically completely irrelevant. So it just doesn't really matter. But I mean, I guess it's something. So Verdant Infusion getting nerfed. So instead of extending your hots by 8 seconds, it will now only extend by 4. To be honest, Verdant Infusion is probably not even necessary for the throughput that our druids have, but we will take it. Because honestly, man, I would love a world where you don't need Verdant. Flourish is actually more fun to me. That's what I used to play in Shadowlands and BFA, honestly. And I don't mind going. I might have to be swapping back to it, because that's a huge nerf. So Flourish might actually become better, because Flourish is good and it's also affected by the Foresight. Mass Shapeshifter now refunding twice as much mana as it was previously. That's a lot of mana, man. 10k every single time you press a 5 combo point maim is a lot, man. Like, if you're playing offensive, you know, like quote unquote offensive Ardruid, like that is, you're gonna have infinite mana. Like, if you can just go into Moonkin form. If you're playing Boomy form, just spam like 3 Wraths, you're over 10k. You can go Wrath, Star Surge, and like you just got like 13k mana, 12k mana, or whatever. That's pretty crazy. Okay, this change I'm not a fan of. I don't know why they ended up doing this. Enveloping Mist getting buffed by 7%. This was substantially nerfed in the past, but they are bringing it back up a little bit. I don't mind them buffing Mistweaver, but don't buff Enveloping Mist, because literally the entire class is just Enveloping Mist. You sit there spamming it, and they just put it up again. And Overwhelming, because between Enveloping Mist and Overflowing Mist, which is the other talent, it's like 50% of the Mistweaver's healing sometimes, and it's a little bit ridiculous. I would wish they would just nerf. I would wish they buff something else, like maybe like their Renewing Mist or something like that. Catharsis getting nerfed by 5%. So it stores less, and it's only 12% of the max health versus 15. So nerf to Catharsis, not the biggest deal. Even myself, who plays Catharsis a lot in 2s, I almost never have it full. So I'm always just pressing it, so it doesn't nerf it in that regard. This is what we're talking about, baby. Here it is, the big kahuna. Disciple Priest damage and Atonement healing continues to be lower than we'd like in PvP. Not for Marky Mark. But so we're increasing it to just to be more offensive. Excuse me. I'm so excited. So 10% buff to all damage. Atonement buff by 20% was 50%. Okay, so after you do the mathematics on this, this is a net 24.6% buff to Atonement. Guys, this is huge. If you haven't seen my Atonement video, it's my last video that I posted maybe 2 videos ago. Please go watch that if you play Disc Priest, because Atonement is not bad at all. People just lazy. They don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going on, but Atonement should always be 20+% of your damage. Ain't no excuses now, man. Like, Atonement is going to be really, really strong if you play towards the strengths of it. So I am really, really excited for that. And more damage is great. I really don't think they need damage, but a lot of Disc Priests out there literally play the class like it's a Holy Priest. So, you know, get out of here. Hopefully they go reroll Holy, because we don't need that. We don't need that Guardian Affinity crap in here, man. Shadow Priest, they're nerfing 25% reduction to Unfurling Darkness for their instant damage. So they're nerfing Catharsis and Unfurling because they didn't like their, I guess, their instant burst damage. Shadows also get PvE damage buffs to PvP. Okay, so they're saying that basically those PvE buffs are kind of offsetting the nerf here in a way, giving them more sustaining damage, less on-demand burst that it's instant. Sub-Rogue, Secret Technique getting nerfed another 7%. Honestly, not a lot. I don't know what Thief's Bargain is, if that's super impactful or not, but I mean, my personal preference, man, Secret Technique is really good, but like, nerf the survivability. Like, there's a reason that Acid Rogue doesn't run wild. Acid Rogue does really good damage, but it dies. Sub-Rogue can't die. You have multiple vanishes, you have Shadow Meld, you have CDR on all these vanishes, you got Cloak, Evasion. It's just too tanky, man, for how much control it has. You can play recklessly, so recklessly. Okay, Shamans here. We are seeing Earth Shield being nerfed across the board for every spec, including Resto. And they're basically buffing the cat and nerfing Earth Healing Stream across the board by 10%. That's big. And they're buffing Healing Surge by quite a large margin for some of these. 20% for Ellie. It's getting buffed by 17% for healing for Enhance. And Resto getting buffed by 21% Healing Surge and 26% for Healing Wave. That is really big. I personally love that. I think Resto Shaman needs to cast. Like, it's just stupid that like Healing Stream and Earth Shield can just keep can just keep teams up, especially with these like really tanky classes that they play, like Shadow Play, for example. It's extremely tanky, and they could just keep those 2 things on them. And if you don't have Purge on your team, you're kind of just screwed, because it just does ridiculous healing. And they're also changing some of the Ward of Shield mana regeneration. So they're nerfing the when you get hit, but they're buffing the passive. So I don't know what the net, if it's a buff or nerf. Another really exciting one here. We got Warlocks targeting their defensive power of Demonology as well. So Mortal Coil healing getting nerfed by 50% in PvP. Soul Link shared damage with a pet is now 50% effective. Thank goodness. Soul Link is just a passive, ridiculously high heal. And Profane Bargains increase to the effectiveness of Soul Link at low health is now 40% effective. So another nerf to Soul Link on top of that. Demon locks were just so tanky. And that is an amazing change that we absolutely just love to see. So, guys, that is what we got for today, man. I am so excited for these Disc Priest buffs, man. We need this. This is my time to shine. I am pushing 2400. I'm going to do it, man. I might not get there, but I'm going to really try. And I'm going to do it, okay? So, stay tuned if you like the Disc Priest content. And I hope you guys have a great and wonderful, fantastic rest of your night or day or evening. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.